It's on the Starcade now. You go to the link.
Start me up, I'll never stop. If you start me up, if you start me up, I'll never stop. I've been running hot, you got me taking, gonna blow my top. If you start me up, if you start me up, I'll never stop, never stop, never stop and never stop. You make a grown man cry.
Donnell Bennett is the featured back. Anders the fullback. Bennett straight up the middle. Donnell Bennett to the Raider 36.
Boy, I'll tell you, Kimble Anders, number 38, gets a sensational block, and that hole is there.
Bennett. Touchdown.
Donnell Bennett, second effort, gets in for 12-yard touchdown, 21-3.
Remember when it was a grinded out offense that Kansas City had? Kimble Anders, touchdown. Kimble Anders, touchdown Chiefs. Second touchdown for Kimble Anders.
Third down and 7 from the 45. Straight drop by Gerbach, flips it out to Anders. Can he get the first down? Yes, and a lot more inside the 40. He's got one man to beat, veers across the right side, and Kimble Anders stretches for the touchdown. 55 yards.
I mean, I know development is on the employee too, right? Like you own your development plan.
Welcome into 4-Minute Offense, everybody. I'm Noah Groniger alongside Clint Schweitzer, the stars of the show, Kimble Anders and Donnell Bennett. And we have a special guest, Chiefs fan, Brian B. Shinen. You know him from Hot 103.3 Jams. And we are here talking about this big win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Heading in, we are going to be facing the Buffalo Bills. They're coming here to Kansas City. We've been here before, an AFC Championship game, twice in '93, last year. So we've got a lot to talk about, guys. Kimble, how's it going?
That's going good. It's kind of cold up here in Kansas City, but I'm used to it. It's great. Hey, you got a big win. Looking forward for the next game.
Donnell, what's going on, man? You are out a man about town. You're at practice. How's everything going with you, sir?
Man, tremendously blessed. I'm walking to the car now. My son had a basketball game, so his first basketball game. I couldn't miss that.
Well, absolutely not. And Kimble, you were here. I believe you were here over the weekend. Were you there? Were you at Arrowhead? Were you at the game?
Yeah. By the way, I broke another record. I caught another pass, so they need to add my catalog.
Oh, absolutely. I know. I saw Priest Holmes beating the drum, Dante Hall. They should have had you up there, man, but it's such a long walk up there, you never would have made it back down to the sidelines.
Yeah, so I did the first pass deal. Whatever they do on the side, before the game, I did the first pass deal. So a guy threw me a ball. I was hoping I didn't drop it, so I caught it good.
Well, Brian, you're welcome here to the show for the first time. 4-Minute Offense. If there's anything you want to talk to or tell Kimble Anders or Donnell Bennett from growing up watching them, I know they love hearing that. Growing up watching them, but it's your
just
time.
Just don't make them feel old now.
Oh man, I'm gonna try not to, but I tell you what, you two guys definitely were a part of the running backs that made up my younger years. It was a pleasure and an honor watching you and cheering you guys on. I just want to know, from two guys who were a part of a running back committee. How hard is it to really like stay in tune in the game and trying to get your rhythm when you got three other capable guys that's running the ball too?
Well, for me, I would say we always looked as a team. We knew what we was getting into. We was running back by committees. So at the same time, we knew our certain talents. We utilized that to our best ability. And so again, when Greg Hill or Marcus Allen in the game, you know what they was in there for. When Kimble Anders, Donnell Bennett was in the game, we knew that. We knew T. Rich. So we accepted our role, man. We welcome each other, competed every day, and went out there to do the best for the team. And at that point, that running back committee worked for us. You know, it was never but it was always competition. Now, you know, some guys, particularly Greg Hill, probably thought he deserved more playing time than most of us. But at the same time, we just grind, and that's the beauty. I think in our group, in that running back room where we had some men in that room that was willing to work and be willing to sacrifice everything for the team and not be selfish.
How about you, Donnell?
And for me, you know, one of the things that was key for me is that the competition. You know, those Kimble and Marcus, they set the bar very high, and the way it kind of worked was, you know, Kimble's gonna get the first 4 reps and practice, and you're gonna watch how he does it and watch what's going on. And if you can't go in there and replicate that, like your reps are gonna diminish. I mean, those last 4 reps are up for grabs. And if you're not going to go in there and do your job to the best of your ability and show the coaches that you are in tune and ready to go, you're not going to get those final reps in practice, which carries over to the game. You ain't going to get the reps in the game. So that competition level that was set by those 2 guys really made a difference, in my opinion, to me as a younger guy.
Yeah, and Kimble, that kind of leads me into my next question here. You were at the game. You've seen what Jerick McKinnon could do against the Steelers. We've got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who was a full participant at practice. Darrell Williams was limited, but we've also got Derek Gore. What do you think is going to kind of make up this running back committee? How do you think they should go going forward? Should it be Jerick McKinnon's job? He should get the most reps, the most touches, or how do you feel like this is going to shake out?
Just from outside looking in, I think right now he's a hot hand guy. I think that's the guy you have to go with, and Williams still kind of hurt, and Gore, like I said, you got 4 potential good backs. You got good quality with each one of them, so you can't go wrong. But right now, I think McKinnon got the hot hand. I think some of the things I've seen this week, if we do that more with him, we'll have a hell of a chance of winning the game and you know, therefore going even a little further, because he's pretty much a real versatile back, and he can do everything. I've seen him, you know, in the run game, pass protect. He also, the way he catches the screens, he's real patient and doing everything he do, especially when it comes down to running the ball and you know, picking his gaps, and he's explosive. So that's why I like him right now. I think he has a great opportunity to go out there and prove himself as probably the leading back right now.
I saw him chip TJ Watt. It wasn't a Kimble Anders chip. He was a little off balance after that hit, but it was a chip, and still.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
But I mean, yeah. Yeah, and like Kimble said, like we want to throw the ball now. Like that's who our offensive identity is right now, and I'm okay with that. And this guy gives us the best opportunity, in my opinion. I'm not in there watching the film and all that stuff, just from watching the games. In the passing game, I think he's a little bit more polished in the passing game than Clyde and the rest of those guys. And just to see him, and then when he does get the opportunity to run the ball, he's doing some very good stuff as well. But I think because we are, I'm going to say 70-30 pass run offense, I definitely think he needs to get more of the nod than the rest of the guys, because he does such a tremendous job in the passing game.
Well, how do you see it playing out here, Donnell? We've got 8 teams left, 4 on each side. We had a weekend that was very non-competitive when it came to the wild card round, the super wild card round that wasn't very super, as the NFL is trying to just, create even a bigger monopoly than they already have with 14 playoff teams, more fan bases engaged, more ticket sales, more television. It's all there, but it didn't make for a great weekend. Now this is big boy football now. All four of these games are 50-50. All four of them, even San Francisco going to Green Bay, to me even is close to a toss up. Maybe erring a little on the side of the Packers on that one, but we've seen the Niners in the Super Bowl just 2 years ago. They have the capability there. Kyle Shanahan's a great coach. But Donnell, when you look around and you see the teams that are left, is this kind of how you thought it would play out? And what do you see going forward? Because to me, these are all 50-50s almost.
And this is what makes good football, man. I mean, we always used to talk about it when we played, the apex at the top of the triangle gets smaller and smaller. So, these guys now that's playing, it's win or go home. Like I said last week, put the garbage bags in the lockers and let everybody know, hey, listen, if you lose today, we packing up everything. And, that's what makes football such an enjoyable thing. I think, like, I'm not a baseball fan, but I watch the World Series or the playoffs because I know them dudes are playing for their life's sake. And you can see it. And this week is going to be a little bit more than weeks past because the nature of the game. So it's going to be super physical, and even throwing the ball is going to be physical. So, it's going to be fun. I can't wait, man.
Man, it's just so good. I'm going to go back to the running backs real quick just because we got two great running backs in here with us. And the thing that the Chiefs have not been able to get going, in my opinion, since Jamal Charles left the Chiefs, is the screen game. And the screen game is so easy, lack of a better term, in Andy Reid's offense. It's an easy grab to me because we're simply going down the field all the time and teams are backing up. They have a tendency to back up. But with Jerick McKinnon actually getting that screen game going, do you guys think that really propelled the Chiefs last week and separated and to where they were able to put the pedal to the metal and really separate themselves from the Steelers?
Absolutely. I see that because I'm a big fan of the screen. Hell, 90% of my pass, my 300, I guarantee 300 was all screen. So, hey, I'm a big fan. You gotta have patience with that. Certain guy to do that. So yes, I'm a big proponent of the screens and the way they do that. And like I say, typically in the offense that they're in now, that's like the perfect measurement to solve a lot of problems because everybody's dropping, everybody's going deep. They know what Kelsey and Tyreek are going to be able to do, and they blowing the top off everybody. So getting that ball down there and once get it over the field, and that guy, like I say, he's real shit. So he's definitely a great guy to have to do that.
Yeah, and I mean,
yeah, and I concur that as well. And yeah, Kimble is probably one of the best screen backs that I know, and it's really an art. Running the screen is not an easy thing to do. People think that, oh, I can run the screen, but the way defenses are taught to read eyes, to read shoulders, to read pad level, to read all that stuff, like it's real important that you understand how to naturally deceive the defense. Like that's the key to running the screen. It ain't got nothing to do with anything else because they looking right at you and they watch film and they know what your tendencies are. So you got to be able to just show them, hey, I'm really in pass protection. If you come, you my guy. But it's hard to do that, and when in the back of your mind you thinking of, I'm gonna get this ball and I got to go run fast and do all this other stuff. So just like Kimble said, man, it's an art to running screens. And if you got a guy that's naturally good at it, like McKinnon and Kimble, I'd say, it's really a benefit to the offense. So it should be key.
We got someone here who says it's not working. The screen game is not working due to an extra defensive back being in the game due to scheme to defend the Chiefs' pass. What do you guys have to say to that?
What did it say again?
The screen game is not working due to an extra defensive back being in the game to scheme up to stop the Chiefs' pass.
I don't think that's necessary.
Well, I mean,
I don't agree with that. I'm gonna be straight up. Let me say it. I don't agree with that at all. Simply because when you have a screen, you got offensive linemen out there. You got usually one or two usually out there, maybe a receiver, and maybe that listeners referring to, bubble screens or something, but we talking about old school Marty Schottenheimer 94 drive against Montana where Kimble Anders caught that screen. Actually, that wasn't a screen. That was just a rollout. But we talking about screens, though, to where the running back goes out to the left or right, and usually there's linemen there. When you got linemen trying to block receivers, oh, boy, it's luncheon. It's lunchtime. So I don't agree with that, Noah. I don't.
I don't. Yeah, no, I disagree too.
Well, I want to take us back, Kimble, because in 1994, you guys won the AFC West for the first time in almost 20 years. You win that game we talked about last week. You win that Steelers game. You pull that upset in Houston to go on to the AFC Championship game. And at that time, Buffalo was the team to beat in the AFC. They had been to, I think at that time, they'd been to 3 straight Super Bowls. You guys go in there and, they're the team to beat, and they're at home. And it was like a blizzard just a couple days before that. It was, freezing cold. Joe Montana's head's hitting off the turf. Do you feel like, fast forward to 2022, that Buffalo coming here trying to do that same thing is very similar to what the task you guys face going to Buffalo and trying to knock them off the pedestal? Because that's kind of where the Chiefs are right now in the pecking order of the AFC.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's pretty similar situation right now. Because right now we holding the Super Bowl champion or Super Bowl 2 times in a row and trying to make it 3rd time, and we definitely have a possibility of Chiefs. So we got to make sure that we take care of our business. And I know they coming there pretty hungry, and they got a pretty good team too. Number 1 defense coming in. Quarterback is pretty comparable, and he's doing some great things. So they have a lot of things, good things going on. So, again, I think it's going to be a great game. I look forward to this game because this is probably be the one who win. I say this, who win this game got a good opportunity to go on Super Bowl.
Yeah, very, very good point.
Yeah, and let's go to the intro from the last time the Chiefs played the Bills in the playoffs, AFC Championship game. This was kind of the intro leading into that game, and we got to just check this out.
Why would they do it? Why would they choose this road? When more often than not, heartbreak is a certainty. And failure, it's just inevitable.
All right, let's see what we have here.
When pain is the only guarantee, while setbacks and doubters wait around every corner. Why would they choose this? Knowing there can only be one. Nothing left for anyone else. Why? I'll tell you why. Because they're different.
Feeling no remorse, feeling like my head was forced from the beaches of screaming. All the ballers is bouncing from the bottom to the top of the pop. Like a running back, get it, man, I'm straight up the block. If you feeling like a boss, baby, don't brush your shoulders off. Right on the money. Don't brush your shoulders off. Baby, this is crazy, baby, don't forget that boy told you
Their history does not define them. Just ask anyone in this city. What happened yesterday, that's yesterday. All it does now, in this moment, is inspire, motivate. The one standing in their way,
believe that this is our moment.
they know that. They were right there too. But getting to the top doesn't mean the struggle is done. It just means the work starts all over again.
Ain't no better time to be great than today. Oh my goodness. Baby, don't forget that boy told you you gotta give. You gotta give.
So why would they do it? Knowing how hard it can be. Knowing that it can break your heart.
To the end zone. Hello, Super Bowl.
Why keep climbing?
Let's go.
Grind.
Your Bills are going to the AFC Championship, Buffalo.
Why?
Champs are still around, Tim.
I'll tell you why. Because of this. And tonight, only one of them gets a little closer.
to get your hands on that, you have to get through this. The AFC Championship game. The top 2 seeds, the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs, about to collide as we welcome you to the AFC.
Minor spoiler, the Chiefs were the ones that were able to get through and win that game and went to the
I'll
Super
never
Bowl.
forget Stephon Diggs at the end of the game watching the confetti come down, his hands on his hips. You know, that's good, playing in his mind as this week goes on, and he's going to be ready. That whole team is to get revenge and get a step further and get back to the AFC Championship game. And if they do, it'll be the Bengals or Titans. I mean, what do you guys think about this game going forward? Brian, I'm going to throw it to you. Do you think Stephon Diggs is going to have something to say? We know we saw what Jamar Chase could do in the downfield passing game. Last week, the Steelers couldn't do it. Big Ben and those receivers couldn't push the ball down the field. You talked about Deontay Johnson having the dropsies. We saw that come to fruition. What do you think Stephon Diggs in this passing game of the Buffalo Bills is going to have for the Chiefs?
I think Spags is going to have his hands full, man. This is a good team. Josh Allen is a multi-threat guy. He can do it all. He can run almost like Lamar. I ain't gonna give him that. He can throw almost like Patrick. What'd you say, Donnell?
I was gonna say, whoa, slow your horses, bro.
Yeah, I ain't gonna do him like that. He's white lightning, but you know he ain't quite Lamar yet. But my point is, man, he got wheels. He can run. He can get away. It's hard to bring him down as far as trying to sack him. So I think the Chiefs are just going to have to zone these guys up. I really do. We're going to have to be smart with our zones. Try to make Josh Allen make a mistake. Keep him in that pocket. I think that's the most important thing is for those ends, for Ingram and Clark or Dana or whoever comes in on those ends, is to keep him locked in that pocket and make him use his arm and not his legs. Because when he gets out and he starts running, it's dangerous. And I don't think the Chiefs want that. We saw that with
Drew
our
Lock.
guy in Denver. Yeah, with Drew Lock.
Yeah.
We saw Drew Lock getting off with those runs. But I think Chiefs were playing more of a man-to-man defense that game. I don't expect a lot of men in this game. But it's all on Spags to mix up those coverages and not just, go all-out blitz, man up on 3rd and 27 like he did against the Bengals. So it's all on Spags, man. We got to win this in the headset.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. I think our secondary will match up a lot better against the Buffalo receiving core, size-wise, and Diggs is a great route runner, so that's definitely gonna be something to keep our eyes on. But the guy that torched us a couple weeks ago from Cincinnati, that dude 6'3", 6'4", if I ain't mistaken. Yeah, he's a big dude, man. So, them 50-50 balls, Diggs is great. I'm not taking nothing away from him, man. He's a great receiver. He is going to be a problem. But I think we match up pretty well against him. It's just, I think personally it's going to be just like you say, the defensive line understanding how to rush the quarterback, not to push the pocket past him and give him a lane to step up in and run down the middle of the defenses when we're back in zone and all that stuff, or man to man. So if we get a mindset of just, I think we can cover the secondary. I mean the receivers in the secondary, but we can't let Daniel Jones let the play get an extra 4 seconds and then we got to cover the guy all over the field. That's where we're gonna have a problem, I think. So I think the defensive line got to really be in tune, like you said, with the rush lanes and the rush depth of all that stuff, and being, some of the times in certain situations we're gonna need to spy him, because that's how they create more opportunities for themselves in the passing game, because the guy can scramble and get loose, and now you're thinking about, I'm coming up to hit him because he's a threat, and then he throwing the ball 70 yards down the field to a wide open dude.
Yeah, Kimble, I want to ask you, about playing a team for the second time in the playoffs. In fact, comparing it again to 93-94, you guys played the Bills, beat them rather easily at home, and then you go on the road. The Bills have already come here to Arrowhead and won. what's the dynamic? What's the mindset when you play a team like that you know that you might see down the road, and then going into the game, is there a mindset that you lost the first time? Does that create doubt? Does that create a bigger desire to come out and win? Because there's kind of a rivalry developing here, certainly between the Bills fans. Man, they're kind of out for blood here. What's kind of the advantage or disadvantage to seeing a team a second time? Because the Chiefs right now, guys, as we sit, are going to have to go on a bit of a revenge tour to get to Super Bowl 56 in Los Angeles.
Well, you just said it. The most important thing, you're on a bit of a revenge tour, because obviously now the good thing about it, you got some film on them. You know what happened the first game, and you know some of the things that you can probably change and execute. Most important thing is find out what they do best and what you do best, and put that game plan together and go out there and just compete, and just wish for the best. You always, second time you playing someone, particularly in the playoffs, you know what they're capable of doing, and you know what you're capable of doing. So it's just a matter of really execution and timing and right plays and decision making. It takes a lot. It's just not just upon the individual. I always speak about the team. It's about how mentally, physically we're able to overcome those obstacles as a team, and just kind of not let some of the things happen to you in the first game, because once that game over with, it's over. You cannot go back to that game. So you got to worry about what's in front of you, and just try to take that on with a different mind perspective. And, and obviously for sometimes one or two plays can make a difference in the game. You got to just be aware of that and be cognizant of everything you do as a player and even as a coach when the play call is coming, making sure that you're on point with everything. And then, which is hard to do in football, because you're going to make some mistakes, and we all make mistakes. We just can't make too many of them. And so that's one of the crucial games that you just got to be on your P's and Q's.
Yeah, and this should be a drastically different game. That first game, Travarius Ward and Chris Jones didn't play. It was Willie Gay's first game back. Sorensen was starting. We didn't have Melvin Ingram. The Bills did have Tre'Davious White, who's now gone for the season. The Chiefs were still trying to figure out the cover two shell, at least how to play methodically in the longer drives. So, Brian, how different do you think this game is going to play out?
Man, look, so I'm glad you came to me, because I don't think we're giving the Chiefs enough respect. I don't. I really don't. Last week, Patrick Mahomes was in God mode. Look at his numbers: 30 of 39, over 400 yards, 5 touchdowns. The one fluke interception came off. Well, it was a bad throw by him, trying to throw across the field. Great play by TJ Watt to knock it up in the air. But besides that one error, you tell me where Patrick Mahomes was slipping last week. I think he's in God mode. Patrick looks at all of this stuff. All of the stuff that the Bills are saying online, their fans. Patrick looks at all of that. He's petty. He's a Virgo. I know him very well, right? So he's looking at all of that. He's taking it all in. And Patrick is a competitor. You see it on the field. You see he flaunts it a little bit on the field. He'll count the numbers of how many people was drafted above me, or that type of stuff. And he'll play it cool in the locker room and in a press conference. But when he's on the field, man, he's in God mode. And last week, Patrick Mahomes turned the lights out on the Steelers, and they did it very quickly too. Not thinking, I just don't see the Bills stopping what we have to offer, especially when everybody's healthy, everybody's rolling. We're getting people back. We're getting Jerick McKinnon involved. Not sure how the Bills can stop the Chiefs. We're not talking enough about that.
Well, just to play devil's advocate real quick, wasn't Josh Allen in God mode as well against the Patriots?
Patriots. Well, it's the Steelers too, I guess, huh? But I mean, look, I think it's a different dynamic with them in New England. Seriously, and Kimble and Donnell, y'all can attest to this too. When we played the Raiders during the Marty Schottenheimer years, it was a different level.
It's different.
It was a different level, and those guys took it personal with New England. Yeah, they could take it personal against us, but I think New England, it was a different thing. And they were in the comfortable confines of chicken wings and snow in Buffalo. They coming here. They coming to get this Kansas City barbecue smoke, and we got plenty for them.
Hey, they're going to bring their flaming tables and their
bring it.
They're going to bring it all.
You can buy them all at the Walmart and Target. We got them for you. Break them all.
Brian,
but you're not going to win at Arrowhead.
Brian, here's the thing. Buffalo, they got two things that we don't have, and I just indulge me for a second. They got two things that we could never have here in Kansas City here in 2022, and that's a loss to the Steelers and a loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars. So Don't you forget that one, my friend, either.
Man, let's not forget it. And they lost to the Steelers week 1. Let's not forget about that too. So Buffalo can be got. They can.
You're right.
Yeah, they definitely can. Yeah.
You're right. I like it.
One of the biggest things you said earlier, though, it's about now. It's gonna be about execution and the mindset. Again, you know, like I think you asked me this question earlier about what type of mindset you want. You're going into this in the playoffs. You got to have that beast mindset, and you got to be able to go out there and just get it done. At the end of the day, it don't matter what it looks like, but mentally, you just got to go out there and get the job done.
Brian, this comment, it came in here that said Brian is writing the check. I think he's going to be bulletin board material. This show, that quote, it's going to be up in the Bills locker room. So
good.
Oh man, hey, we got plenty checks, baby. All right, Patrick Mahomes got $500 million. That was nothing to the Hunt family. What you want to do?
We know, guy. It's going to be a situation where Chiefs.
And I got a question.
Yeah.
Go, Donnell.
I got a question. I mean, we overlooking one crucial aspect of the game. What about the officiating? I mean, some people think that it was a game that was given away by the officiating, and another game where the crew was excellent. What do you feel about this, the replay system, and all we got to get it right, or what? Like tell.
We lost you there at the end there, Donnell. But I think the sentiment, we can all know exactly what you mean. And the good news for the Chiefs fans is we're going to get the original white hat that was supposed to be in his crew, that was supposed to be in Cincinnati, that got subbed out for at the last second by the crew that wasn't quite as up to snuff, let's say. So we got it's the same crew that worked the Chiefs-Cowboys game at Arrowhead Stadium. And I think that bodes well. These guys that are working the playoffs, these are the best of the best. We saw some problems funny enough, in Cincinnati last week again. We saw some questionable things happen, but for the most part, these guys are the best of the best. When it comes to the playoffs, you guys will agree with me. You got to get it right, and whatever it takes to do that. I think that it needs to get to the point where New York is able to make more, make more calls without coaches having to use challenges. Forward progress we need to get rid of that. That's killing it right now. With the Chiefs actually got burned by that in 2017 in that Titans game. So yes, we got to get it right. These crews are the best of the best, and I actually have the utmost faith that that's not going to be the issue here, at least Sunday night, guys.
Hey, Clint. First off, I'm a big Jerome Boger fan. I love him.
Yes,
I love
sir.
his holding calls. That's one.
There you go.
gotta love some Jerome Boger, man.
I'm with you. So I think we're in good hands. Better hands than, say, 3 weeks ago at Cincinnati. So at least to me.
Yeah. I think like Clint was saying, that New York, I mean, the refs have the earpieces. New York needs to be able to fix the calls on the fly. Just call down in their earpiece, let them know what they got wrong. This is egregious. And the coaches shouldn't be able to challenge everything. We shouldn't be able to challenge pass interference or something. But if it's obvious, if it's blatant, New York needs to be able to call down into their earpiece and correct it on the spot, like right there.
Well, here's another thing too. I want to add on to the referees. It's good coaching too. Normally the well-coached teams, they normally don't complain about the refs as much. I mean, every team got their fair share. But take example the Cowboys. Like, you don't spot the ball yourself. You know that. The center doesn't spot the ball. And Dak Prescott was coming up with these excuses, talking about, well, the ball was here, there. You already know these are the fine details that coaches like Andy Reid or Mike Tomlin puts into their players. You give the ball to the ref. Yeah. You let the ref spot the ball. So, it's just little details like that separates great coaching from mediocre coaching.
That's very true.
That actually separate great teams from mediocre teams.
Yeah.
Because the great teams execute those things pretty consistent. You know what I mean? It's very seldom it's going to happen to a great opponent, a great team. So that separates winning and losing. When you
Who's been the best situational football team of the last 20 years? Right. The New England Patriots.
When we was with Marty, we went over stuff all the time, and I'll be damned if it didn't happen. Every time we cover it, in your mind, you don't think, see what this dude tripping. He's doing all this. We like, next thing you know, the shit happens. It happens.
Yeah.
So
Marty and the Chargers. When he was head coach of the Chargers and they were playing the Patriots, he went up to his secondary guys, one of them being Marlon McCree, before the game, telling him, hey, if there's a late interception that you get, just go to the ground.
Go down.
And then he starts running it back in the game, and he fumbles it right back to the Patriots, and the Chargers lose. That's Marty's luck in the playoffs.
I did see the
guy. Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be, I mean, if you're not charged up for this, guys, this is what we've waited. You know, Noah, Brian, and I, we're all around the same age here in our, you know, we'll just say mid 30s, because I refuse to think that I'm about to turn 38 and it's going to be like late 30s. So we're saying mid 30s. We've waited for this, and as a Chiefs, as a franchise, guys, where we are right now, we have to cherish every second of it, because this is not. I mean, there were 4 playoff wins from like 1970 to 2017 here, and there's been 7 since then, guys. This is the glory days. We have to recognize every second of it, and I just. Sometimes it's surreal. You got to pinch yourself. Noah and I went to the Super Bowl last year. We're going to LA this year, and we just hope the Chiefs are planning on joining us, because, and I think you know, Vegas has the Chiefs as the best odds to get there. The Chiefs are the king of the AFC right now, and I see no reason why they don't represent the AFC in Super Bowl 56 again, guys.
All right, I agree. And again, like I say, they know how to win now.
Look, I don't want to look ahead, fellas. I don't. But I have to ask this question, and it's more concerning the Bengals-Titans game. Donnell Bennett, I'll start with you, and Kimble, I would like for you to chime in as well. Do y'all trust Derrick Henry coming back so fast off getting an operation off of his foot? Do y'all like? I mean, he's a freak. He's a beast. I know he can. If anybody can come back from that, he can. But fam, you just had a fractured foot. That's not, you know, that's a serious injury. You think, you know, he's going to be 100% coming up this weekend and beyond in this season?
Well, I say this, for him to come back, it is kind of a little scarce, but I think his presence on the field, if he's not able to do as much as he can, or he may be 100%, that's something we'll never know. But I think his presence, if he's able to get out there and give him something, I think his presence will be more important than anything else. Else you see his presence is kind of hurting the team. You know what I mean? So when you get your big name players back, the whole energy is different. You know what I mean? You have that guy, you have him on the field, even if it's just to talk to him, even just to go in a few plays. So I don't know what their game plan is with him, but if he's able to contribute to the team, I say go for it, and just hopefully he don't re-injure himself or get in another situation where he get hurt again. That's one of the scariest things you can look forward to. But at the same time, I think he's going to bring something to the table. And if he go out there and rush for 200 yards, then more power to him.
Donnell, what are your thoughts on Derrick Henry coming back?
You don't know the nature of the injury. You know, like. Yeah, they say it was fractured, but you know, how intense was it? Like, was it precautionary, or did they have to, or could they have waited till after the season? Like that stuff be funny. Like, you can't take that injury report for what it's worth, because you know, we done seen it before. A guy come back and it's like he was never hurt. So, in my opinion, like Kimble said, you got to wait and see what production level he gives you once the game starts. If he can get out there and he can rush for 200 yards, like, yeah, get him the ball. But if he get out there and you can see, and now he's really putting himself in harm's way, because people they're gonna test it and see. Like, if I'm a cornerback, the first place I'm gonna try to hit him is in the top of his foot. So you know, like, and that's just from a player's perspective. You know, like, I had an injury that I could walk in the locker room, I can walk normal, but if I tried to explode off of my foot, it was like somebody was stabbing me in the foot with a machete.
Wow.
But yeah, like, you know, so we don't know the extent of it. It could have been an old break and they were just cleaning up some fragments that was around it. Then he probably ready to go. So, you know, I don't know. You don't know.
Good point.
Yeah, we'll see what he can give him. If he can give him anything at all, I think that's just huge for the Titans. Ryan Tannehill becomes a much different and better quarterback when he has a strong play-action game to work off of. It opens everything up, and if Derrick Henry can give him everything, you know those linebackers are going to be eyeing him and coming down.
That guy that's backing him up ain't no slouch.
Oh, Foreman? Yeah, Foreman's official. Yeah.
Hey, it ain't like they ain't got no running game, and they just can't get the running game going. That dude he might not be as big, but he's just as big, and he can run that thing just like him. So,
So, Donnell, I got to tell you this. So when I first got down to Galveston when I was coaching, he was a running back. He actually was a linebacker / running back for Texas City, which is our district. He went to University of Texas. He wound up being a better running back, but his brother was a receiver. Both of them went to UT together. And that boy, he's been a beast his whole life. And unfortunately,
that's what I'm saying. So,
unfortunately, his dad passed away a couple of weeks ago, man. So
I
knew him real well. So it's kind of sad. But that boy a beast though.
Yeah, I mean, if the king or whatever his name is come back, it's gonna put a little bit more fear in your heart. Because what he's done, but shoot, like don't think you ain't got to prepare for the dude that's in there if Derrick Henry don't go, because he an animal too.
Very true.
Well, guys, we have so much coming up here. It's been such a tremendous season. We hope that it's going to continue on, obviously, guys. So I want to thank everybody for joining us. Brian B. Shinen, you are the man. Hot 103.3 Jams. I'm a huge fan of yours, everything you bring to the table, the intensity, the passion. I absolutely love it, man. And you're right in our wheelhouse. You're our age. You've been through the same crap that we have. And here we are. Kimble Anders, Donnell Bennett, you guys are the best. Joining us in not the best of circumstances. You're both out of pocket. You're both out of your home palatial studios to make sure you got it done today. Thank you guys so much for doing it here on 4 Minute Offense. Enjoy the weekend, guys. Let's get a win for Chiefs Kingdom. Thanks so much.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
Chiefs.